there, friends. I am here today sharing with you a super cute one that's, I don't know that it's unusual. Maybe I actually have not seen many projects like this one here. I did find a few and I'll talk about it in a little while. Today we're going to be making a Rolodex altar book. I think that's what they're calling them because it kind of simulates a sort of a Rolodex-y type of contraption. I don't know. That's kind of how I've seen it around here in YouTube. And we're going to be using this book. So it's an altar book, but it's a Rolodex, I don't know, ephemera holder. This is so hard to describe. Oh my goodness. But I'm just gonna jump in and start talking about it, and it will make more sense as I move along. I kind of just show you what we are going to be doing with the pages on the book and how we are going to create the Rolodex-y sort of thing. We're going to be using bone folders to crease our pages, and you need a book, whatever book you want. Once you see the entire video here, you will have a better understanding and will be able to choose the size and the width of the book. So one thing that happened here when I was recording, the arm, the thingamajig that holds my phone, the arm, this bending part, it started bending down, and therefore my phone started moving down as well. So that's why I'm out of frame. I'm so sorry, but you will see me correcting this here in a minute because it took me hopefully just a couple minutes. That's what I think it is, a couple of minutes to realize what was happening. So okay, getting back to it. This is, oh my gosh, it's going so quick. So I have started folding the pages and I am choosing 1, 2, 3 pages at a time. So each of those 3 pages will create a sort of page in a sense, and you'll see as I keep going. I don't know if you've ever heard of a Rolodex altar book, but this is what it is. So you fold the pages, and it depends on how thick you want these little tabs that we're creating. I'm just starting to develop my own lingo for this. You see this, folded pages here. You can do 2 pages and fold them. You can do 1 page at a time. I have chosen 3. Oh my goodness, you see those little beads dangling up? That's because my phone just keeps sliding lower and lower, and now you're starting to see what's hanging on onto the arm that's holding my phone. So this book that I have chosen had like 560 some pages. Now, if I wanted each of these pages to be a tab, I would have to fold 560 some pages, right? And I didn't want that. It would be, oh my gosh, I'd have to do this same process 560 times. So I chose to do 3 pages at a time, and the process went a lot faster, and it gave the book, I don't know, you'll see, obviously each page will be a sort of a divider, right? So divide 560 by 3. Let's do the math here. So it's about 186 pages once they're folded by 3s. So basically I would have 186 of these little tabs that you see here. So the book can be any book, depending on the width that you choose. That's how you will decide how many pages you want to fold together. Pretty soon here, that's when I realized that my phone is not set correctly, and I'm going to reset myself. So I grabbed 3 pages. I tuck him in as close as I can to the spine of the book, right? And then I crease them with my bone folder there. I realized, and I couldn't redo it because the pages were already folded. I had already glued on that cover page because that blue paper is a lot thicker. So I glued it to one page and then folded that as the beginning. And then from then on, I started to do 3 pages at a time. So I'm just showing you here what I have done so far and what it looks like so far. And basically, this is the process that we are going to follow for the entire video. I just started speeding up the video here because, it's just going to take too long. And I've decided to cover the cover of the book. I'm going to cover the cover, but I'm going to use fabric. Now, you don't have to do this because when this is all said and done, the book is going to lay flat, open, 100%. So you will not be able to see the underneath of the book, the covers, I should say, unless you pick it up. I love this fabric. I thought it was representing so beautiful the colors that I'm going to be using inside of the book once we're done. And so I found this fabric and I'm very quickly going to show you how I covered it. No sewing involved, very simple. And again, some of the edges of the book, once you open the book, some of the fabric will show on the edges of the book, and that kind of adds a little bit of color, and that's kind of what I was after. So I used some tacky glue, and just like, if obviously I'm going to treat it like paper, but it's fabric, very thin fabric, and I'm only going to attach it on the edges. I'm not going to cover or glue down the fabric 100% on the cover, and you will see why. When you have something that opens and closes, if you were to put glue on the entire cover and then glue the fabric on top, it becomes stiff. But as you open and close the book, it kind of tends to pull. I hope this makes sense. If you've worked with fabric and covering books, you know what I'm talking about. So this is the reason why I'm only adhering the fabric to the edges of the book, so that as the book opens and closes and moves, nothing gets pulled and it's just kind of loosely attached. I haven't talked about what this book is about. So 2021 is the first year that I have skipped doing my quote journal. And this year I've decided to bring it back. Not this year, but for 2022. By the way, I'm using this little piece of plastic in between because I don't want the glue to kind of get attached to the page, the inside page. So just put a little piece of plastic until the glue dries, and then the glue won't attach to anything else. I'm cutting the edges of the folded fabric. Oh my gosh, this is so hard to explain. I don't even know why, but luckily you can just see what I'm doing. So ignore the words and just look at what I'm doing. So getting back to the story of my quote journal. I started doing my quote journal back in 2016. And I've used different ways to document my quotes. I started on a normal journal. I was kind of doing a mixed media type thing where I would just decorate pages and then write the quotes. And then I changed it to a binder where it was an old planner. I took the inserts out and then I started creating pages and then just inserting them as a regular binder. Last year in 2020, I used an old library card box. If you follow me on Instagram, you can go back and use the hashtag my quote journal, and you can see all of my different ways that I have you know, the different mediums, I should say, that I have used to work with quotes. So this year, I keep saying this year, it's going to be in 2022. I'm doing all this prep work now, so that way, come January of 2022, I will be able just to start working on my daily, not daily, but more like weekly quotes. You saw me mitering the edges of the fabric. And so again, I've just used glue on all the top, the bottom, and then the side edge. And I'm just kind of retouching here and there, taking out any excessive fabric that I don't need. And now I'm going to do the other side. Same deal, just miter the corners and then very, you know, easily attach and glue the edges of the fabric. And so getting back to the quote journal. So I have to stop saying so. How do I do that? Let's try it again. Getting back to my quotes, I will be using this altar book to hold sort of tags and ephemera and journaling cards where I will be writing my quotes and then just sticking them into the pages of this book. I'm looking forward to that. I missed my quotes in 2021, and I know a lot of you were following that because I create themes. Each month I have a theme so that when I go on Pinterest to go look for quotes, you know, I might say quotes about faith or quotes about mindfulness or quotes about a mother's love, or you know, something like that. And so every month I come up with a theme, and I have done that now for, I don't know, you know, excluding this year, for 6 years, 5 years, something like that. I will be adding the themes pretty soon onto my blog. So if you are interested and you want to follow along, you can you know, see what the themes are. And of course, I'll be showing them on Instagram once I finish this book. Really quick, the book that I chose, which would be a good suggestion for, you know, a good suggestion I can give you is the book that you select, make sure it has a spine like that, where it's kind of detached. Most books, especially thick ones, are made like this. And so there's a little gap in between the pages and the actual spine. And this is where the little spot where I'm going to be tucking in the edges right here of the fabric. So I use just a little stick there. I use my scissors to kind of just jam it in. There's no glue. Again, this book is going to lay flat on a surface, so I won't be, you know, picking it up. I mean, I can, but most likely it's just gonna sit somewhere and look pretty. But this is how I deal with these little flaps left over, and then I will be done with the covering of the book. Once I finish the themes, I have to look at my list. Luckily, I have kept track of all the themes I have done in the past, so hopefully I won't repeat any of them. I mean, I guess there's an infinity, you know, themes that I can select because there's just so many quotes out there. So I will check my list and try not to duplicate a previous theme. The book is done. The cover is done. I think it looks very pretty. The colors, it's colorful, and I love that. Now all I have to do is cover the, you know, the inside covers, because right now you can see the fabric and then that blue, and just as with any journal, you just cover that. And then that happened. For some reason, my phone stopped recording and you didn't get to see me select the paper, but I've already done it, and it was just a beautiful kind of quilted paper from Cricut paper, 12 by 12 cardstock. And I liked it because, again, it kind of mimicked the fabric, and I wanted it to be colorful. Plus, I'm also going to be using Cricut paper journaling cards to create the page dividers, or the monthly dividers, I should say. So here I am, kind of moving along. I've already kind of folded pretty much half of the book going towards the left, and I'm about to start the pages, folding the pages towards the right. It's getting a little harder to tuck those pages in because of the bulk, but you will see in a minute. I go into a little bit better description of what's happening because I decided to go live, and instead of having a sped up video and me recording over, I just decided to start talking. So you can see and get a little bit better explanation of what I am doing, and just kind of an easier way that I found to tuck these pages in. The first half I tuck to the left. The second half I'm starting to tuck towards the right, and I think that kind of helped a little bit. But as you can see, this thing is getting way thicker than the original pages. Okay, well, I was going to do a complete voiceover on this, but I feel like it's much better if I explain in real time rather than speed it up and all that. As I folded the pages towards, well, the book is facing me, so I folded the pages towards the left. About halfway through the book. This book has 500 and something pages, 563. So half of that, I folded the pages to the left. Once I got to the center, then I started folding the pages towards the right, which is what you just saw me do a second ago. 1, 2, 3. So I go this way instead of that way, which I did the first half. So it's getting a little harder to sandwich the edges inside the spine of the book. So one thing I have found, you can press with your palms, I guess the side of your palms down. I fold it and then I kind of wedge it in, and then, I kind of move it left to right, kind of making it go inside, right, between the pages. And I make sure that nothing is, or I can get as close as I can to where the edges are not sticking out. You can kind of see here everything is pretty nice and flat. So whenever I do that, I kind of feel with my finger and feel if, like I can tell that this side is sticking out farther. So I gotta push it down this way, slide it, I should say, towards this direction here so that the pages line up. But the other thing that I have found is that if I pick up the book, I'm doing this away from my body. You want to kind of keep it in towards your body, but because I have to show you on the camera, I'm doing it kind of in the air. But when you let the book kind of hang like this, it opens up the spine because this part is, being pulled down. It's easier for me to put the pages inside, and I don't have to kind of wiggle them in there too much because there seems to be more space because the book, this side, it's dripping down and it opens up this page, this area here, much better for me to insert the edges. So I thought, again, that explanation would be better if I showed it to you in real time rather than just record it and then do a voiceover, because it just goes so much faster. Once it's in there, I make sure nothing's sticking out. I feel with my fingers, and then I just go ahead and press down and use my bone folder to create the fold nice and tight. I will go ahead and finish this book and come back once all the pages are folded, and I will show you how beautiful it looks, which already it's starting to look very, very interesting. So I'll be back. So I finished folding all the pages, and this is what it looks like now. Very interesting, very pretty. I like the whole look of it. And that's why they call it a Rolodex, because you can see it's, you know, it's kind of a roll, and you can search if you were to be looking for something specific. And so this is what I'm going to be using for my I'm going to call it my quote journal, because that's what I've called it from the very beginning, even though this isn't a journal, it's an altar book. In the past years, I've used an actual binder, a planner binder that I took the pages out and used it to hold my quotes. I've done actual journals, and last year last year I used a old library card to hold the quotes. I've skipped 2021, but I missed working on the quotes, and when I saw this, I thought this would be perfect, just to do something unique to hold my quotes. So now that I am done with this, I went ahead and went through this pack of journaling cards. This one is by Maggie Holmes. It's a very old one. I was so lucky to find this at a Tuesday morning back in 2020, January of 2020, which is when I went to Florida right before the big lockdown. And I found it there, and oh my goodness, I love it. And so I am going to use 12 journaling cards, the small size, as my dividers for each month. So I've picked the ones that have just kind of a pattern on them, not necessarily any journaling like this. I mean, I guess I could use it, and in reality that would be good, because how I'm going to be using these guys, I have printed, and I kind of messed up here. This is why I always make doubles of everything, because if one, you know, gets ruined. So I printed these out all the months, and I'm going to go ahead and cut little strips, and then I'm going to use this tab puncher. This is an old one. I'm sorry, friends. I'm not even sure if you can even find one of these anymore, but it's one of my favorite tab makers. I was considering using this ticket punch, which I don't even know if this one is available at this time. These are old ones, but I considered punching, but I think it's too big. So I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to use this guy here, and I'm going to create the tabs using some scraps that I have here. Let's see if I can, yeah. So I'm going to need 12 of them. Oh. See if my head doesn't get in the way there. So I'm going to cut 12 of them in different colors just to see what works best. So, but the point is this. So the tabs are gonna go like that. And then I'm going to cut the month and glue it right here. And then when those are done, then they're going to be inserted like this. Now, that's the one thing that, you know, just like with the Rolodex, a real one, that if you, you know, some things might be upside down when you roll it. Like if you have an actual memory decks, the latest ones, you know, some things are going to be upside down. But you know, you can do it however you want. Again, this is why I have seen people that make this book stand up like this. They use some sort of, to be honest, I'm not sure, but you know, something that can kind of keep the pages, you know, from moving like this. There will be just stationary, which for me, this is how I'm going to keep it. I like it. And as I work on my quotes, I will, you know, for each month, I will have a theme. I have not gotten the themes ready yet because I'm even surprised I'm working this far in advance. But I will come up with the themes, and I will then print them out and then add them here. So each month will say January, it will have the theme, then it's gonna go, you know, like that, and then any quotes that I make under that theme are gonna go behind that tab. The fun part with this is that I don't have to keep everything the same size. I can go bigger, I can go smaller, I can do circles, whatever you want. And so that's, I think it's gonna be the fun part about this, is that you can add tabs, you can do tags, and maybe a circle, or again, more journaling cards of different sizes. And then that's what's gonna go in between. So at the end, I should have something, you know, that's gonna have all sorts of little things coming out like that. And having a variety of sizes and shapes and embellishments is what's gonna make it look so cute. Now that I've explained it, I'm going to go ahead and start making my dividers and just let you watch. So I guess I repeated myself a couple of times, right? It's so hard to do it when you do a video like this in a span of a couple of days, 3 days, because then I forget what I've already said. So sorry about that. I'm cutting or punching out my tags. I'm just gonna randomly punch them. This is a great way to use my scraps. And I did them out of frame because you have to press really hard on that punch and it just kept moving the camera too much. So I'm just gonna cut all the little months here and then just create the tags, the dividers. Pretty simple, very self-explanatory. What else can we talk about? Sometimes it's just, you know, you learn so much by just watching. Well, I'm kind of working on myself. I haven't been doing a lot of posting. I'm trying to keep up with things, but the move to Texas is getting closer and closer, and we're going to start some serious decluttering and just again kind of wait out the holiday season and then seriously get going. And that kind of sometimes freezes me, and it's a little bit overwhelming to try and keep up with everything. And so I'm just gonna keep going at my own pace, at my own speed. So I hope everybody just kind of hangs tight until life kind of gets back, for me personally, to a little normal. There I am almost done with the tags. It was just very easy, kind of color coordinating everything. And I do a little something here at the end, and you'll see me doing there could have been more things I could have added to the book on the video that I didn't. But if you follow me on Instagram and you follow this project alone, you'll be able to see, because there's a few little things that I forgot to do with regards to a title, but you'll get to see that on Instagram. I'm done. My book is done. My altar Rolodex book, I don't know what to call it. But I think that's, if you do a search, you can find it under that. Just type in altar Rolodex book, and I think you're gonna be successful in finding other YouTube videos. I will add the name of the person that I saw this originally. I saw a book like this on Pinterest. I will add her name, I guess her blog, to give her credit, because she's really, that photo that she had was my inspiration. At that time, I loved the book. I didn't know what I would use it for. And then when I was thinking, well, what can I use this year, or actually 2022, what can I use to create my quote journal? And this book came into mind, and so I looked her up again, and there weren't too many examples on Pinterest except hers and a couple of other ones. There is more on here in YouTube, but again, I will add her name because she does have a lot of beautiful artwork that she should be recognized for. So I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys give it a try if this is what you want. I'm not being very good at updating my blog because I just have 100 things going on, and I really could use an assistant to help me with that. But I will try to add either photos or, you know, just kind of explaining what I've done. But mainly the reason why I want to talk about my blog is because I will try and add the themes that I will be assigning to each of the months. I have to look back at all the years that I have done this project so that I don't repeat the same themes. Luckily, I have kept a good log on what I have done so far. So I'm going to try and come up with new themes for 2022. So if you are interested and you want to follow along, you can find them. And I will share that information on Pinterest. I'm sorry, not Pinterest, Instagram. So hopefully you follow me there. You will be seeing photos of me adding every time I make a quote. You know, I will show you the card and then I will add it to the book. So you'll see this book come up on my feed throughout the entire year as I add quotes. One thing that I did, and I just realized, because you add these little tabs, you know, obviously I can start working on them from the bottom right here. But if I put them, you know, like a normal, right? So let's say I'm gonna grab July, you can read it, but because it has to go in here like that, it's upside down. I can't see anything. So what I did is for the month of January and February and March, I put the names upside down. So as you can see, January, February, and March are upside down because if I put them like this, then at least I can read the month. So I went January, February, and March, and I will probably maybe even do April. I did. So even April is upside down so that I can see what month, and it's just aesthetically just looks better. That you can see them. And then from here on, everything else is going to be right side up because I can see everything. So that's one tip that I have if that is of interest to you. Please ask any questions. I don't think that there's anything else. You don't have to cover the book itself because obviously because it's going to be like that, no one's gonna see it unless you pick it up. I wanted the edges to be pretty and colorful, just like the rest of the tags. I don't know if that could do anything else. I'm been thinking about maybe distressing the edges of the pages. I can add some ink or you know, I don't know. I'm not sure that I want to do that. The other thing I wanted to do is on this page right here, I'm gonna put the year, so 2022. I should have done it so I can show it to you on the video, but at least I get to tell you about it. And again, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll be able to see anything else that I've thought about after the fact. I was even thinking about decorating the sides. I have seen someone do some decorations on the side, but again, at this point I am happy with what it looks like, and this is as far as I'm going to go. And that's it. So hope you liked it. Hope you give it a try. Look for the quotes, the themes if you want to follow along. You can always follow along in just a regular journal. This was just how I decided to do mine this year. So thank you again for watching. Until next time, take care.